Welcome to this episode of The Wolf and the Shepherd. Today we are going to be talking about J-pop. So I'm a little confused because I've heard of K-pop, but I haven't heard of J-pop. So the Wolf put this together and said we're going to talk about J-pop. So I'm once again going to get educated as far as what J-pop is.
Well, the first time I heard the label J-pop, I thought it was Jesus pop. I thought it was another attempt by the evangelical church to kind of be relevant and sound all type of street, but I was wrong.
I could actually see that taking place. I mean, I do need to inform the listeners, by the way, before we go any farther, that just before we hit the record button, the Wolf sang him a little song, and I said, I'm glad you got that out of the way because you're going to scare a lot of people away if they would have heard that song. So please, whatever you do with the rest of this, please don't sing your made-up song.
Your words mean nothing to me.
I know.
So anyway, going back to J-pop, when I thought it was Jesus pop, and a quick aside here, did you ever see that episode of South Park where they became Christian pop artists or Christian rock artists, and they changed everyday regular songs but just threw the word Jesus in there and became these big Christian music superstars?
No, I don't remember seeing that one.
Yeah.
I do remember there was an episode where they became a boy band, and you're not talking about the same one.
No,
right?
I don't think so. It was they went into doing Christian music, but instead of like writing their own songs, they just took everyday songs and just threw in the word Jesus in there just randomly, and it became like a real big thing.
No, I don't remember that one, but
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to go back and try and find that episode.
Yeah.
I'm not saying I
It's
didn't
funny.
see it.
It
I'm
was
not
a really
saying
funny
I didn't
episode.
see
Yeah.
it, but maybe I did. I just don't
Yeah.
recall that right off the top of my
Yeah.
head.
So J-pop, Japanese pop, or as they simply call it, pops.
Pops, plural.
Yeah, as in like
hey, pops.
dad, something like that. Anyway, it's a musical genre, entered Japanese music mainstream sometime in the 90s. I don't know what they called music before that period of time, but if you've heard any traditional Japanese music, it's an absolute stereotype of like when you go to a Japanese restaurant, when you eat like sushi, hibachi, and that music playing in the background, that is pretty much Japanese music.
I got you. So
Yeah.
it is probably not on my Spotify playlist.
Well, unfortunately, it's kind of in the suggested ones on mine because I had to look up some of this music to hear some of it.
Oh, so you've ruined your Spotify.
My Spotify
suggestions.
suggested list is now, I might have to set up another account and just like wipe my subscription out, just write this month off as a loss.
Yeah, well, maybe you need to have an additional account for this research when we talk about music.
I think I might need to just do a dummy account on another email address.
Hey, do we have a Spotify account for our actual email address? I mean,
No.
maybe that's what we need to do, and then we can just go in
let's do
every
that.
once in a while
Yeah.
and just kind of look at how horrible our suggestions are.
Maybe they'll start paying us to listen to horrible music.
Yeah.
They'll give us a free subscription to scrape the bottom of the barrel
Yes.
in world music. But anyway, this J-pop, right?
I've already got you confused, haven't I?
Well, K-pop, I actually did hear of K-pop and I knew what K-pop was. When J-pop, like I said, I thought, oh, Jesus pop. But K-pop, I knew what K-pop was because I'd seen it on TV.
right.
So the J-pop thing...
And you knew K-pop wasn't Kanye pop.
no,
right.
no,
Just making sure.
not our good Sir Kanye.
Well,
No.
I've got to watch out for you. You
Yeah.
watch out for me. I watch out for you.
Yeah.
I just got to make sure you're not getting confused.
Yeah. So J-pop combines traditional Japanese music, which is again, yes, sushi, hibachi, background music, with Western 60s pop and rock music, such as the Beatles and the Beach Boys. Can you imagine that? Like that music you hear while you're eating your sushi combined with the Beach Boys.
Yeah, okay, so the Beach Boys I get, but you say Western music. I mean, the Beatles, that wasn't Western music. That was from your homeland.
Well, that's in the West. Anywhere kind of west of the Berlin Wall was like the Western world, mate.
Okay, well,
Western Europe. Anything...
I figure anything on the other side of the pond is east.
No.
Oh, okay.
My word.
Oh,
So you think the bagpipes is like an Eastern...
Yes.
Well...
Yes. I'm pretty sure cats come from over there too.
Yeah. I had a friend who told me about J-pop, and he said the best way to describe it was really kind of like if you took the cast of Sesame Street and they got them drunk on sake and imagine them singing some tunes, that would be J-pop.
Well, it depends on which characters from Sesame Street. I mean, Big Bird, don't want to hear him sing. Snuffleupagus, that might be interesting.
Well, having a 7-year-old son, I've heard most of the cast of Sesame Street sing, but I think them as a collective being drunk on sake gives you a very accurate idea of what I have since discovered and unfortunately heard as J-pop, how it sounds. But I was also actually surprised there are other type of Japanese genres along these lines. There's J-Club, which I think is kind of like disco-y, ravey type music.
Kind of the kids are dancing to this music.
Yeah, basically. I don't know if Japanese people dance other than that twirling around, waving fans thing. I've never seen a Japanese person dancing, I don't think.
I don't think I have.
I don't
either.
have, no.
Yeah.
So there's J-Club, there's J-Punk, which might be the biggest abomination to ever.
I can't picture a Japanese punk rock band.
Yeah.
I can't picture that. I've got a couple of friends that are in punk rock bands, and I can't picture that. But you know, the couple of friends that I have that are in punk rock bands, these are not like garage bands. They're touring around the world. I don't know if they've been to Asia, but I mean, they've been all around the world, so I'm going to have to guess they've been over there. I can't imagine their music sounding like Japanese music, but I also look at things from the East thinking it's across the pond, so maybe my mind is a little short here.
Well, I think after this podcast, you need to go on YouTube and see if there's any J-Punk covers of like the Dead Kennedys or the Sex Pistols or Green Day or that type of stuff.
Okay, but I can't do that because you've already ruined your Spotify account. So then I'm going to ruin my YouTube account.
You don't have to log in. Let's go via another browser.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah, but that sounds like a lot of work.
No, open up that browser you look to where you try and look at other stuff where you don't want any recording of your web traffic and all that stuff. Yeah, use that one.
With the little Inspector Gadget looking guy. I got you.
Yeah. So, they have J-Club, J-Punk, they have J-Hip-Hop, which I don't know what the Japanese have to kind of drop mad rhymes about, really.
No, I can't picture this either, but I'm not saying they don't.
Yeah. They have J-Reggae, which that's got to be terrible.
Yeah, that's got to be terrible. Reggae is supposed to be just specific. Yeah, that's not going to work.
I thought when I read that, I've got to try and make an imitation of a Japanese reggae song. But then I thought, given one of our last podcasts we recorded was on cancel culture, I figured if there's something which is going to get us cancelled, me doing a version of Japanese reggae is probably high on the list, which is going to be the thing which pushes it over the edge.
That's probably true. Yeah. That is probably true because I could see us being a little bad there and getting in trouble. Yeah. Let's not do that.
Well, I did actually take the time to go on YouTube and I typed in, these styles of music and I listened to a few seconds of each, and it was pretty much all musical diarrhea, if I'm honest, because that background of the traditional Japanese music, you just can't throw it out of the equation. I mean,
well, now hang on. So when you talk about this original Japanese music, and here we go, here's that cancel culture coming up. Are you talking about like
yeah, almost, but I'm talking about the stuff where it's got the I want to say people singing, but it's not really singing, is it? It's where it's a kind of to the tune of that thing you just kind of hummed or made a sound of. So it's a combination of those two, and I think that pretty accurately describes Japanese music for the last 6,000 years. It's that as a backtrack to all this, kind of pop music and punk music and reggae.
Wow.
Yeah, okay. So it's the worst underlying track. Even Kanye could not make a good track out of this, I don't think. Although, if anybody could, Kanye could, yeah.
Maybe Kanye's listening.
Yeah, listen to this. You want a challenge, Kanye?
There it is. There it is. Hey, this is part of his presidential campaign for 2024.
Yeah.
Maybe he's got to figure out a way to make
He could have got the Japanese American vote overnight.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Not even overnight. Within 30 minutes. Yeah, he'd have been able to take care of that.
Yeah. The stereotype of traditional Japanese music, the stuff which plays in the background when you play like Virtua Fighter on the Xbox, you notice it within 2 or 3 seconds of the song, just the style of it. Because even as Western pop, they try and make it sound. It has these kind of breaks and stuff in the music where it's like they just have to throw it in there just in case you are unsure this is Japanese music. It's like a reminder that you're listening to Japanese music.
Right. They do not want you to be confused. They're going to tell you, hey, you're listening to Japanese music. So there's no confusion there. Everybody's got that figured out.
Yeah. I don't really understand why they've done it, to be honest, because I would have thought the Japanese would try and make up for the fact they introduced karaoke and unleashed that on the world, but apparently they have no remorse about that whatsoever.
No, they don't.
Yeah.
They don't. And that's a cancer.
Yeah.
I mean, I used to sing karaoke years ago. I know some people that, good folks that just got all ate up in the karaoke.
Yeah.
And it's a big thing now. And it all came over from Asia. It's like, hey, go into a bar, sing a song that somebody else sang, and let's hear your version. People have fun with it, and that's what it should be. It should be fun.
One thing I have noticed, actually, anytime I bring a new topic for us to record a podcast on, you get really excited if it's something you've never heard of before. I mean, I don't think I've seen you this excited or maybe anxious since I told you we were going to do a podcast on Indian cinema.
Yeah, well, I do get excited on learning new things. I mean, that's what we should all be excited about.
Yeah.
I mean, we decided, remember, this year, our mission with this podcast was to reach out to those people that are listening to our podcast where their community is underserved, like the Amish and the vampires. We took care of them. And then bringing up these topics about the things that people don't really get to dig into.
Yeah.
And that's been our mission this year, along with interviews and all that good stuff. But hey, we got to have fun with this.
So along that spirit of thinking, do you want me to get the really useless facts and figures out of the way now?
Well, is there such a thing as useless facts and figures?
There is in this.
Oh, there is. Okay. All right. Let's get them. Yeah. But we got to set the stage. We got to go ahead and say, hey, we got to preface this. So let's get them out of the way so everybody knows what we're talking about.
All right. Here's some numbers and percentages relating to Jpop, which honestly, if I'd have made them up, it would make no difference whatsoever.
Okay.
Right.
So do we need calculators?
No.
Okay, good.
No.
Yeah.
Neither of us know what a yen is anyway, so I didn't do any figures with yen in. Because you may as well be talking like pebbles or something. I have no clue how much a yen is.
I think it's a penny.
I think it's like equivalent to a box of fried rice.
Your explanation makes more sense than mine.
Yeah.
Okay, so 1 yen is 1 box of fried rice.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, okay.
All right, so, but you have these figures in yen, correct?
No, I didn't do yen because it won't mean anything to anybody.
Well, it's a good thing we explained what a yen is.
Right.
So, go ahead.
Yeah. So, Japan is the second largest music market in the world after the United States.
I don't believe you.
Well,
I was shocked.
I was shocked as well. But I was more actually shocked with Germany being number 3. I'll be honest with you, because they haven't moved on from David Hasselhoff.
Right, but all right. Here's where I struggle with this. So the U.S. number 1, we get that.
Right.
That's a given, right? You're saying Japan is number 2.
Well, it's got 127 million people, and a lot of them have disposable income. Now, China obviously has over 1 billion people. But, they're working for like 2 cents an hour, so I don't really think they can afford the downloads from iTunes.
But you can get a free account on Spotify.
I think it's blocked by their IP.
Oh.
Plus, they get beaten in a prison if they listen to Western music or any. Well, actually, I don't think they like Japanese either, do they? They don't like anybody.
I don't think they do. You know what? I think the Chinese like cats, though.
Well, they eat them along with bats.
Right, but
if you're going to eat a bat, you're going to eat a cat.
Right. So they like them.
Yeah.
I mean, I love a steak.
Kitty.
That means I like cows.
Yeah. Kitty on a stick.
Yeah.
Roasted kitty on a stick.
Nothing wrong with that.
That's where the next coronavirus is going to come from. Kitty on a stick.
Oh, we're making a
broad kind of a prediction for 2021. Kitty on a stick leads to new coronavirus.
God, I really hope that doesn't come true, but
you kind of do a little bit.
Yeah, kind of do a little bit, because then all of a sudden we're going to hit the Google searches because we came up with this.
Yeah.
So we did not manufacture this in our secret laboratory where we also manufacture all these other new diseases. We just made that up on the fly. So continue.
Right. So the annual revenue generated by music in Japan is round about $7 billion, not yen. $7 billion. Now, what I probably should have done, given we know the US is number 1 and Germany is number 3, is find out the numbers for those two countries, but I didn't do that.
That was probably
because
on
I couldn't
like
be
the
bothered.
6th line of Google, and that's way too far for you
Well,
to scroll down.
I actually think it was in the same article. I just didn't bother reading it or writing it down. So
no, makes sense.
7 billion, maybe a lot of money, might not. We just know it's second in the world. So I couldn't actually find the contribution that J-pop made to that 7 billion. So I don't know how much of their musical revenue comes from J-pop. It might be most of it. It might be not much of it. Again, that's something I probably should have gone on to the second page of Google.
Yeah, but
didn't do it.
I could see, I'm going to guess, 95%. 96.3%.
Well, the most popular J-pop group is named AKB48, which sounds like one of the robots or droids that gets killed earlier in the Star Wars prequels.
Yeah, that does sound like a droid name.
Yeah,
but that's their name.
But it does stand for something else.
Okay.
Which I did actually write down, but I couldn't pronounce it, so I didn't bother putting that in the podcast.
Yeah, we have a tough time pronouncing words. We have a tough time spelling words.
It sounded racist, me even trying to pronounce it, so I'm just sticking with AKB48.
AKB48.
Which, if I build a droid, I'm going to call it AKB48, as long as there's no copyright issues.
We should build a droid.
We should.
I've always wanted to build an R2-D2. I have the plans. I'm going to do it one day. Maybe I can share those plans with you, and your droid will be AKB248 or
B48.
Yeah, exactly.
Maybe if we switch the 8 to a 7, there won't be any copyright issues.
That's a good point.
Yeah. It's like, we didn't know. This AKB48, they're apparently an all-female group, but I did actually look at some photos of them on Google, and other than when a lot of them are dressed as schoolgirls, I couldn't really tell with some of them whether it's an all-female group or not. Also, I can't tell how many people are in the group, because you look even at the first page of photos, some of the band photos has like 6 people, other photos have like 20 or 30 or more people, so I'm not sure how many people are in the band.
Well, they probably have backup dancers and everything else, so I get that struggle that you're looking at.
But they all dance. I don't know why they need backup dancers, because it just looks like clones of the same people just dancing.
Yeah, but
it's not like Janet Jackson's Rhythm Nation, where she had like 400 people in the video doing the same thing as she was.
Nowadays, it's all about the performance and not the music.
Yeah.
But here's my question. You say they're all female.
Allegedly.
Are you assuming their gender? Are they really all female? Or is there one or two of them that say, hey, I want to dress this way, but I'm really a man?
I don't know if you could tell, to be honest.
Oh. Okay.
I don't think anybody's judging.
I just want to make sure, because we're accepting everything on this podcast, and we don't want to misgender anybody.
No,
because
that's not true. Some people we want to.
Well, yes,
yeah. But even if there are only 6 people in the band, having heard them sing on a few YouTube clips, I think you could pretty much interchange anybody into the group and have the same product.
Probably so.
It sounds like Scooby-Doo on helium.
Scooby-Doo on helium.
Yeah.
I think you're onto something.
Yeah.
That might be a good music group.
Yeah.
Too bad we don't know anybody at Hanna-Barbera that we could have Scooby-Doo on helium singing songs.
It's got to be an app. we can make that happen.
Well, yeah, there's an app, we could make it happen, but we don't have the copyright and all that we could market it that way. We probably should try to steer away from being music producers.
Well,
because we would go down some crazy rabbit holes with that.
Well, I think one of the reasons why they're interchangeable singer-wise is because one of the videos I watched, I think they all took a turn in singing, and there was literally no difference between their voices. It's not like one sounds like Natalie Merchant and the other one sounds like Taylor Swift, you know? I think in the studio, they probably just have one person who can sing, and then the rest just lip sync to her the whole time, but just pretend they can all sing.
Or they're all lip syncing, and they really have just one person doing the actual
it's probably
singing.
not even in the band. There's probably just somebody in the record company who sings everybody's songs.
Yeah. Wasn't there a band a long time ago that there was a chick that was singing like this kind of secondary part of a song, and then they recorded her, and then they had some other woman go out on the stage and pretend to be her because the really good singer was not pretty and was not, thin and trim and all that stuff. Maybe the Japanese are doing the same thing with J-pop.
Maybe. I don't know how many chunky Japanese people you get though.
Well, that's true because they're eating sushi and rice all the time.
So this EKB48, right? They've sold over 50 million singles. Now, one thing which did surprise me, in the land of amazing technology, there are still a lot of CD sales in Japan.
Really?
People like to have physical copies of the music.
So they're not. I mean, obviously, yes, they're probably getting streams from their songs, but they're actually selling physical copies.
Physical copies, yeah.
Wow,
CDs.
That's amazing.
Yeah. One sad thing, actually, back in 2018, one of the band members, I think was like only 16 years old, actually committed suicide.
Did they listen to their own music?
Well, I'll be honest with you, that was my first thought. Were they overexposed to their own music? But it's kind of sad, really. You think about a 16-year-old who's like famous, got all this money and stuff, yet feels so desperate or out of sync with things that they end up committing suicide,
No, I totally agree with that. It's sad when anybody commits suicide. But yeah, in your
Jar Jar
description, yes, Jar Jar Binks,
Biggs.
Yeah,
no,
but
Binks,
but
Jar Jar
not.
Binks, yeah.
Let's be clear, not the actor who played Jar Jar Binks, but the
although he
actual
does
character.
need a beating for enabling.
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah,
a little bit. He does.
So I know, as usual, you've got some questions which you haven't had time to formulate about J-pop, right? So I did my ahead research and came up with a few popular questions about J-pop, right? Also barely researched some answers, but found enough to say it's the definitive answer, I think. So,
okay, makes sense. All right, fire away.
Right, and I also wanted your opinion on these. This isn't a stump the shepherd. I just kind of I just wondered what your explanation might be for this. Now we're kind of like 25 minutes into the podcast. You're probably one of the foremost experts on J-pop in North Texas, so I figured your input might be invaluable to the listening audience.
So I have to immediately disagree with you because I am the number 2 expert in North Texas on this because you're the number 1. I'm the number 2 right now.
Do you not think any of the Japanese people in North Texas might have some input? Or are you just talking about Caucasian kind of?
Yeah, no, I'm just talking about people in North Texas. I'm pretty sure I'm here, so I'm glad. Honestly, I'm glad we're not doing stump the shepherd.
Yeah,
that's so hard on me, and especially with today, I don't need you to stump me. So I'm glad we're actually not doing that today.
Okay,
but I also know. The next one around, then you're gonna give it to me really hard, and I'm gonna make a fool out of myself. So I'm going to enjoy the fact that you're not really gonna stump me right now, knowing the next one you're gonna hit me really bad.
Well, I think the next one's gonna be on Einstein. So yeah, I'm gonna throw in a few figures there, which are gonna hit you out the ballpark and the solar ballpark, not even the earthly ballpark. But anyway, why is J-pop not popular in the West or not very popular in the West, would you say, other than it being crap? You can't answer that.
I would say the fact that you have that Hollywood machine, right? And it's not Hollywood because that's the movie piece, but you have that marketing, music marketing, whatever it is that is pushing all the songs onto the radio. And you don't hear these songs, so obviously that's why it's not as popular. Because you've got to just permeate everybody's ears to music constantly to get them to like a song. And I've never even heard a J-pop song, so that's my answer.
Well, I wasn't really listening to you there, so I can't really say whether you're right or wrong. But the official answer on the interwebs was because it's mostly created for Japanese audiences. The music, the vocals, the production are all Japan-centric. And that makes it really difficult for Westerners to kind of like or even understand the appeal, which I still think comes round to my summarization of it. It just sounds like crap.
That totally makes sense.
Now, I know one question which you would have probably come up with yourself had I not been asking these questions is why are J-pop idols not allowed to date?
J-pop idols.
They aren't allowed to date anybody.
Okay, so these musicians, right? They're singing. They're not allowed to date.
No, they're not musicians.
Okay, singers, performers.
Like,
let's go with performers.
It's like saying your dog's a musician because it barks.
My dog is a musician.
Yeah,
I mean,
when it farts and barks at the same time.
Yeah, his bark is very good, but they're not allowed to date.
Not allowed to date. Yeah.
Okay, all right. Tell me why.
Well, you're supposed to give me your opinion on it.
All right. Sorry,
why do you think they're not allowed to date?
Making sure to get away from the distractions of the dating world and keep them focused on making money for the record company. That's what I would go with.
You think?
Yeah.
All right.
Okay, let's stop for a second. This really feels like a stump the shepherd thing.
It's not. No,
yeah,
it's not.
Yeah,
I just wanted your opinion why you think they probably wouldn't be allowed to date.
Okay, we'll go with that. I'm telling you, this feels like a stump the shepherd though. But okay.
Well, I'll be honest with you, and I know I mentioned this a little bit earlier, but I've seen photos of J-pop idols on Google image search, and I honestly can't tell with a lot of them which one's a male and which one's a female. But you can't tell from their names for a start, because when you read the names, they don't sound particularly girly or boyish.
So they're not named like James and Sarah?
Not like James Cushy and Sarah Cushy or something. No, it's just like, I don't know, not being racist, but a lot of the names sound made up. Yeah, like you put them in one of those random generator name things, and it will just come up with a name, and you just call your kid that. But
right,
we're not part of that culture. We don't know. Yeah, and most of them, the boys and the girls, have haircuts which remind me of like early Duran Duran videos in the 80s from like Planet Earth or something. So you can't tell them apart on their haircut. Getting into the whole anatomical issue, most boys and girls in Japan pretty much have the same breast size, so it's not an easy way to really tell which ones are the boys and which ones are the girls. So I know that's got nothing to do with why they're not allowed to date. The official answer is that in order to sell this fantasy to their fan base that they're accessible, they're not actually allowed to form any type of romantic relationship, and they actually have to get permission from their agencies to get married. And if the agency says, no, you're too popular, you're the best-selling T-shirt or poster, if you get married, it's going to knock off the profits because all these daydreaming people who think they've really got a chance to meet you and marry you are not going to stop buying the music and that. So that's why they're not allowed to date.
Well, once again, it goes back to the fact that it's all about the money.
Yeah.
It's not about the art form, it's about the money. So
it's not all about the Benjamins, it's all about the Benja-Yens.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is
I literally just came out with that. It just shows how on the spot I am in this.
Yeah, and you should trademark that, but it's really all about the amount of boxes of fried rice you can buy.
Yeah. Now, this one isn't really a question. The most popular J-pop boys band is named Hey Say Jump. Hey Say Jump.
Okay, so
That's the name of the band. Doesn't roll off the tongue like Foo Fighters or
right, but
Smashing Pumpkins. Hey, say jump. Hey, say jump.
Why do they have to say it twice?
I don't know.
You should have figured this out.
Well, what you mean is I should have looked it up, but you know better than that.
Well, but if you think about hey, say jump, hey, say jump.
And an exclamation after each word. So 6 exclamation marks as well.
Gotcha.
Which makes me think if I put a few numbers in there, I can use it as like a password or something.
That does sound like a actually fairly good password.
Yeah.
But hey, say jump, hey, say jump.
Yeah.
Can't you imagine just having the band called Hey Say Jump? Then you could call
X2.
them... Ooh. Kind of like MXPX. And I know you're not a huge punk rock fan, but MXPX, the old punk rock band, they were called MXPX because their original name was Magnified Plaid. And the X was the substitution for a period. So it was capital M, little x, capital P, little x, MXPX, which was Magnified Plaid. So, hey, say jump. To me, you could have actually turned around and had stickers made that had HSJ.
X2. That would have been a cool
X2
t-shirt.
Yeah.
HSJ X2.
Why were we not in charge of the marketing for this? We could have made it big.
Maybe.
Yeah, but we're lazy.
Well, a quick YouTube search, which I did and listened to a couple of their songs. Actually, it was a montage of their greatest hits, which lasted, I think, 4 minutes, 12 seconds.
How many greatest hits did they have?
I don't know. I only listened to 2 of them, and I was about 30 seconds in. But it sounds like... Have you ever seen Yo Gabba Gabba TV show?
Well, we talked about Yo Gabba Gabba before, and yes, I have seen it, and it drives me nuts.
Yeah, well,
and
it sounds like...
I know you're going through that right now.
It sounds like Yo Gabba Gabba's greatest hits, if I'm honest.
So terrible, basically.
Yeah, pretty terrible.
Although DJ Lance, like we said, we like him.
DJ Lance! Yeah.
He does good work.
It's pretty cool. And I like the one with the one eye. Muno?
Oh, the one that looks like a cucumber?
Yeah, but one eye, like Cyclops crossed with a pink cucumber. Is he pink? I can't remember.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think Muno or something. Yeah, I don't know what it's called.
Yeah. I don't like the yellow robot. I just want him to...
He's funny.
No, I want the yellow robot to fall in a pit of acid.
The girl one's just there for diversity reasons because she don't bring anything to the table.
That's true. I like the cucumber one, though.
Yeah.
It looks like a cucumber.
That is the one with that one eye, though, isn't it? Muno, I'm pretty sure. Well, anyway.
Yeah.
So I figured we couldn't really get into J-pop without a real deep scrutiny of the lyrics of a really popular song from J-pop.
Are you going to hit us with some lyrics?
Yeah, I actually got the translated to English version, so something may have been lost in translation. This was originally in Japanese, but apparently, well, at least according to the website, this is the most accurate translation of these lyrics into English that you could possibly do. So
I'm looking forward to hearing this.
Yeah.
But I'm at the same time a little disappointed that you're not going to say it in Japanese, because there's nothing better than hearing someone with a British accent talk about Japanese lyrics with an English translation.
Well, remember, I can't even pronounce the name of the band, so I don't know me going through the whole lyrics is going to help. So anyway, this is a song by the allegedly all-female band of maybe between 6 and 100 members, who knows, AKB48, and the song is called Uza, U-Z-A.
Uza.
Uza, yeah.
Uza.
Yeah, that sounds more kind of Austrian than Japanese, but
yeah, it sounds like a brand of a gun.
So do you want me to read this verse by verse and you give an opinion, or do you want me just to read the 4 verses and you give your opinion?
No, I want to hear you read the 4 verses.
All right,
let's hear this.
Okay.
So once again, now let's set this up properly. What's the name of the song?
Uza.
Uza. By?
AKB48.
Okay.
Right.
No. So now what we have to do, you have to be a radio DJ. We hate radio DJ stuff, right? But you have to be a radio DJ and have to read these lyrics. So you got to set this song up. You've got to say, here's the name of the song. Here's the name of the band. I want you to just sit back and you are going to be the premier DJ setting this song up and explaining to the entire world why this is a great song. So, ladies and gentlemen, here is the Wolf on the Wolf and the Shepherd podcast, introducing a new song from Jpop.
This song, AKB48, come out with their latest song, Ooza. This has sold a magnificent 19 copies in the whole of Texas, but we've been offered 14 boxes of fried rice per week for the rest of our life if we go ahead and read these lyrics. So here we go. This cuts to the bone, I don't mind telling you. I cried the first time I read these lyrics, mainly because they weren't translated yet, and I read them in Japanese. So here we go. How annoying, how annoying. You should love him your own way, without thinking about the other person. You should love as your heart tells you. If you're lucky, then they may just love you back. Verse 2. Even if you're hurt or you hurt people, the more serious you are, the more you won't notice it. No way! Exclamation mark. Kiss first. Do it before reasons stop you. Release your emotions. Do it. Kiss first. Cling on to their neck. That's right. As a way of greeting. And I know you're eagerly awaiting this last verse. If you're ever only gentle, you won't attract them. Do you know about the power of love? Love is something that steals all once eyes meet. It has nothing to do with his girlfriend. You'll black out every time morals go through your head. Black out! Exclamation mark. So what do you think of that then?
I think Huey Lewis would be upset because they reference Power of Love, which was a great song from the 80s, from Back to the Future and everything. We've talked about Back to the Future before, and do you know about the Power of Love? Of course we do. It was a great song from Back to the Future.
There were 3 songs around in that year called The Power of Love, though, and that was actually not even the top selling one.
That's probably true. That's probably true. But I got to admit, you did a great job presenting that song.
I think so.
I do not want you to leave the podcast and go be a Japanese DJ for J-pop.
Because of my lack of enthusiasm, or?
No. On the contrary, I'm saying you did such a great job with that. There are going to be Japanese radio stations listening to this saying, I'm going to fly you over and you are going to be the new Japanese DJ. So we got to be careful. Now I'm getting a little nervous putting this
I might be headhunted.
Yeah. I can see if we actually cared about LinkedIn or something like that, and there's a Japanese radio station that's looking for a new DJ, and they say, you know what we actually need? We need somebody.
DJ Wolf.
We need somebody that lives in Texas that has a British accent to introduce our songs on our radio station. I'm pretty sure you're number 1 on the list.
Well, after tonight, yeah. I think my favourite lyric out of that was kiss first, cling on to their neck. That's right. As a way of greeting. I think that kind of
the cling on to the neck.
Yeah.
It was that trying to attract the Star Trek people.
Cling on. No, cling on to.
Right.
Not cling on.
I know. But you could slur that together, and then all of a sudden the Trekkies are going to say, oh, they're talking about Klingons.
Yeah, I'm doubtful about that.
Yeah.
These lyrics do kind of strike me as the same type of writing that you get from somebody who generally keeps a diary under their bed written in their own excrement. But I found it really hard actually to come up with a summary because I don't know what there is left to be said, which hasn't already been said. But
I'm pretty sure we already explained everything everyone needs to know about J-pop.
Yeah.
But you're telling me there's
a few other things.
Summary stuff we need to explain.
Yeah, I had to go off on a bit of a tangent to really kind of glide this one home.
Gotcha.
So I know I mentioned the different styles like J-reggae, J-punk, and J-hip hop.
Is there J-ska?
No, not that I heard. It probably is. You might want to subscribe to that.
Yeah,
because you like ska music.
You know I love ska music.
But that crossed with your dislike of Japanese music, it's like antimatter and matter colliding.
Yeah.
It'll be nothing.
See, I always try to figure out a way to make this work for me, and it never does. But you always
it's like peeing into the wind.
Yeah.
So J-hip hop. It's also known as nip hop, which sounds all kind of racist to me. But hey, they chose the name nip hop. Hip hop. J-hip hop is also known as nip hop.
Nip hop.
Yeah, NIP hop. Nip hop.
That does sound a
kind of racist.
Little bit racist.
Yeah, but I'm just reading what was on the interweb. So
right
now, I don't know if its critics call it nip hop or racist people call it nip hop, but it did say it's otherwise known as nip hop.
I can think of other ways to describe this that would obviously be considered racist, but we won't repeat those.
No. So J-pop's biggest competition,
let's back up. So
we're going back to nip hop.
Yeah, we're going back to nip hop because you have the, hip hop, J-pop, everything ends with a P, right?
Well, it's the same word. That's why.
Yeah, but that sound, and
it's not hard to rhyme pop with pop. Yeah. So J-pop actually has competition in its homeland from K-pop, Korean pop.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you have to have the competition, then.
Right? But there's some good reasons for this because number one, I Google image searched K-pop, and the K-pop girls are hot. Unlike the Japanese ones, the K-pop, the Korean girls are hot.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you Google imaged search this.
Yeah.
Not a normal Google search,
no.
But you actually went for pictures.
Cut to the chase, yeah.
I got you.
Yeah.
Okay.
Let the dog see the rabbit type approach.
Yes.
Yeah. No, they're hot.
But this shows me that our research is honestly going to a new level. We figured out there's actually a little button up there that we can actually go from all to certain other things.
Well, no,
are you expanding your search capabilities?
Well, no, remember we used that when we were doing the podcast on Bollywood. Remember when I tried to convince you that Indian Bollywood actresses are hot?
No, I don't. We also had a podcast on memories and how you remember stuff, and I forgot about that one too. So stop trying to confuse me.
Yeah, but also K-pop. It's not actually as bad sounding. It just sounds like, I don't know, a couple of early Britney Spears B-sides with a group of people singing it, but it's nowhere near as bad as J-pop. K-pop, I wouldn't buy it, but it doesn't kill me to listen to it. I can understand why it's competition in the homeland, to be honest.
No, that makes total sense.
I mean, it still sounds like Mickey Mouse discovered a freeware auto-tune program after breaking up with Minnie and then gets drunk and then lays down a few tracks with Donald Duck during the mixing and producing, but it's better than J-pop.
Wait, so is there a program out there that they can do that? Because you're supposed to be finding this freeware that we can use, and you're telling me there's a freeware program out there.
Freeware auto-tune, you just talk into it and it auto-tunes your voice. Now, I'll be honest with you, I've used it once before, and I ended up sounding like Stephen Hawking while he was alive.
Don't you already sound like him a little bit?
No.
Oh, okay.
So I think what would be a good idea, because, I've kind of been toying with the idea of, since we did that new musical genre podcast and us inventing gay Asian disco and our own music label, Gaysian Records, and I said that I'm going to come up with a few tracks for it. I think it would be good if we did a YouTube video of you and I doing some karaoke to some J-pop music and also playing some exclusive tracks from our, now that's what I call Gaysian 2021 debut album.
Totally agree with you there, but we haven't talked about that in quite a while. So how are we going with the gay Asian disco? Are we anywhere, or
I told you I made 2 tracks. I set up because I've got this music making thing on my phone.
Yeah.
And it came out like brilliant. And I can just imagine gay Asians dancing to it and also downloading it for 99 cents on iTunes.
Yeah. So once again, I need to check our email account and make sure that stuff's going on there.
Well, no. First of all, what you need to do is go ahead and pay the $20 and copyright the Gaysian Records label and the gay Asian music genre in case somebody else jumps in, because that was actually a pretty well listened to podcast, and I'm pretty sure there's some people out there who probably thought they might run with it themselves given our lack of proactivity.
Once again, that adds one more thing to the list of stuff we're supposed to be doing, and honestly, I haven't even kept up with the list of stuff we're supposed to be doing because we never take care of anything on that list.
Well, you see, this is why we're kind of like the best entrepreneurs, because we come up with so many ideas, but we're the worst sort of entrepreneurs because we never do anything about the ideas we have.
You know, the sad thing about that is
it's true.
over in Dallas County, we got Mark Cuban sitting there, right? And honestly, all we need is Mark Cuban to just hang out with us for a little bit when we spit out all these ideas, and let Mark Cuban figure all this stuff out and cut us in on a little percentage, you know.
I don't know if we're ready to go on Shark Tank yet, though, because you've got to have a presentation, numbers, sales, you've got to turn up and that kind of complicated stuff.
Yeah, we're not going to do that.
We're nowhere near the turning up stage.
Yeah. We barely turn up to record the podcast to use your turn up thing. I mean, it's tough for us to do that. With all that said, thanks for tuning in to this episode of The Wolf and the Shepherd, and we will catch you on the next one.